Hello, I'm glad to meet you today. My name is Vadim. I'm a technical expert at Kramer. Uh, so today I'd like to talk a little bit about the brand new USB Type-C products, about the Type-C technology as well, and what Kramer can afford you. Please feel free to ask any questions you'd like to ask. Our chat is not moderated, so you may write anything you like, and I'll reply as soon as I get your question. Don't be afraid to interrupt me. It's okay. I'm okay with it. So we shall start, I think, in a minute or two. And please let me know if you can hear and see me well. Please give me some reaction in the chat. Well, okay, let's start. Today, I'll talk a little bit about the USB Type-C products and about the technology itself, how it was invented and what it stands for, and how we can use it, and which pros and cons we can face, and which difficulties we can face, and how to solve those difficulties as well. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for joining our online meeting, and I highly appreciate you watching me and communicating with me. So let's start. Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about our equipment. We provide active devices and cables, considering the Type-C matter. We have different kinds of cables: active cables, passive cables, optical cables, converters, dock stations, and everything like that. Also, we have different kinds of equipment like automatical switchers, AV over IP decoders and encoders. And also we have matrix switches and signal extenders and HDBaseT products. All of them are incorporated with USB Type-C. I will focus your attention on several products. So first of all, I'd like to show you this one. Here we have the EXT3C XRT, and it's an extender, an HDBaseT extender, and you may also see a button here. The button recalls the CC commands to turn on or turn off the display. The receiver on the other side is connected to, and also it is it has a USB input here for multimedia, and also it can speed charge your devices like a laptop, or if you are using a smartphone, a tablet, or something. But you should also provide this particular device with additional power, and it also can be PoE powered. And next, we have the KDS7 family devices here. We have the SW3, the automatical switcher and AV over IP encoder. And also we have the AV over IP decoder, and the image we get here, it goes to our screen that you may also notice behind me. Moving next, we have a beautiful set of boxes that's called the Kit 500. It is a multifunctional set. It can work as a matrix switcher. It can work also as a KVM machine. It can work also as a docking station for USB-C, and you can easily select which particular signal you want to throw to the screen, and you have the bidirectional USB commands going here and there, and also it can be controlled with RS-232. It has its own web interface. It's very useful. It's very easy to use, easy to incorporate in the existing AV system. And if you need this equipment in a particular meeting room or some multifunctional space, it will work just fine. Also, on the top of this set, we also have two boxes that's called EXT3TR and EXT3XRTR. They are all the same, almost the same, except the fact that one of them works on a bigger distance, extended range. That's what the letters XR in the name stand for. But talking about the equipment, we don't only have the equipment for the professionals, for the AV integrators. We also provide you with the docking station. For example, we have a docking station here. It's called the K-Dock 6. It comes with a beautiful laptop stand that I'm using today, and I'm using almost all the time. It's very convenient to use, very stylish, very slim design, and very sturdy. And also we have here the docking station, and all the interconnections I need are made via this docking station, and it has a full function USB connection to my laptop. And provides me with 4K 60 Hertz output on both HDMI and DisplayPort ports, and also it can work with power delivery function, and it has high speed super speed plus USB connection, USB 3.2 connections, and if you need, you can also plug in your headset, so it has an analog input and output for audio. Let me show you some equipment. Just take a closer look. For example, we have this one, a beautiful docking station that's called the K-Dock 3. As you may notice, it has a power delivery Type-C input, and it has a card reader for SD cards, two USB ports, and also it has a DisplayPort output, an HDMI, and also a physical LAN port. It's a very useful thing. For example, you can use it on a business trip or going somewhere with your laptop, because nowadays the laptops are coming with a stylish, slim design, and not all of them can provide you with all the ports you need. So this one docking station can be extremely useful. Also, we have the different kinds of cables. So this particular one is a passive cable. I have also an optical cable here. If you are using the Type-C products, Type-C cables, you should be aware that it has the direction, if you are using it like a multimedia transfer cable. So here we have the orange flags that one of them says that it should be connected to a source. Another one says display here, so you should connect it to your Type-C compatible display in order to provide you with all the highest quality pictures you'd like to send there, and you will surely make no mistake if you just take a look at those. Also, we have the cable retractor systems that's called KRT4, and if you take a look, you can see that our KRT4 with the USB-C isn't 1.8 meters as it is usually when we are talking about our retractor systems. That's because the KRT retractor is based on the strictly standard of USB Type-C, and it says there that the passive segment of a USB cable, so the passive cable USB to USB Type-C, should be no longer than 1 meter. Nevertheless, we provide you with 1.8 meter passive cables. Those cables are a little bit out of standard, but they are working well. But in order to ensure that you get all the benefits from the USB Type-C retractor, you will meet only 1 meter of I'm sorry, you will meet only 1 meter of cable in this retractor. So if you are using something, some passive cable, and you need to extend the distance, you cannot use the passive cable to make the distance longer, you should go to an active device that will reclock, remake and maintain the quality of the initial signal in order to send it to a longer distance. For example, if you need to use the retractor and send to the signal to a bigger distance, you should surely use the active cable in order to solve this task. Okay, now I'd like to show you some slides, and I'd like to talk a little bit on the matter of the USB-C. So let's start. First of all, going to the very beginning, the USB interface itself was first brought to us in the 90s. And first run of the USB products was met not very gladly, and as USB stands for Universal Serial Bus, it was called a useless serial bus. So people weren't sure that it's a good technology, it will live for a long time or not. So it was some kind of a problem of understanding the technology itself. It was implemented in order to replace the PS/2 RS-232 interfaces, and to make easier the connection of the peripherals to a computer. For example, printers, scanners, or anything you need, mice and keyboards and everything. The main point was to make the difference between the connection to the host and the connection to the device. So it was the first connectors that you may also you may see them almost every day. The A/B type cable, the printer cable, as it's also called. Then time is going on, and we need a more compact connector in order to use a smaller device like a portable hard disk drive, for example, an MP3 music player or anything. And here comes the USB mini type. It was in the 2000s, I think so. After that, USB micro type also was presented to the public, and it was more useful than a mini USB because it had the secure close that allowed us to plug in the connector, and in order to plug it off, we should apply more power, more strength. And it was more reliable, more sturdy, and also more compact than a mini USB was. But you may also remember the different kinds of USB connections, for example, the Lightning from Apple, and different kinds of USB cables coming with the old mobile phones. Every mobile phone vendor has had its own type of USB connection. A USB type A connector on one side, and anything, almost anything on the other side. And it was a big headache and a big hassle to get a cable if you lose one. For example, for a camera or for a some specific device, if you lose the cable, you have to find the equal one, and it was very hard sometimes. So the main point I'd like to know bring your attention to is that the connections of USB, they are the interface, the USB interface as a standard, it's reverse compatible, but the interconnections with the connectors is not. because all of them are completely different. For example, if you look at type A 3.0, it looks almost like the type A 2.0, but inside the type A 3.0 we have 9 connectors instead of 4 connectors that we had in type A 2.0. They look almost the same, but they are completely different. And also we had some strange connectors that you may have already seen. For example, the USB micro B super speed that you could probably meet when you bought some external portable hard disk drives, and also some strange like USB mini A and mini B on a panel and something like that. A lot of combined types of connectors also made a big hassle and a big headache for a user, because you had to have a big box of different USB cables, and it was awful. So, moving next, I'd like to say that you might also have seen the labels with USB buttons on your USB letters, I'm sorry, on your devices like mice and keyboards. And what does it all mean? It's all USB, but is super speed better than super speed plus or not? Or high speed is better than super speed? Or how to read all of this? What is wireless USB? What is USB certified? And also there are a lot of kind of misunderstandings. And I'd like to say that the connector itself, the type of the connector, doesn't mean the standard of the data transfer speed. So that's the point. Let me go to the next slide. For example, the first type of USB was 1 and 1.5 megabit per second speed. The USB 2.0 was 480 megabits per second, so it was pretty much enough for running a audio card, an external audio card, or plugging it to a small PTZ camera, or using it with a big kind of printer applications. And you could also use almost anything connected to the USB 2.0. And I must say that USB 2.0 is the standard that we probably work most with, and it's most well known. I'm not sure you can find some USB 1.0 devices nowadays, because all of them were replaced with USB 2.0. And then moving next, we are going to the super speed. Super speed could provide us with 5 gig per second of download and upload speed. So it was made for external drives when people started working much with multimedia, with taking photos, with editing photos, with editing media, video, recording audio, and bringing it from here to there on an external drive. We needed a higher speed in order to record a footage of 2 or 3 hours of video footage, not during 1.5 hours of interconnect with the USB from the computer to our hard disk drive, but 5 or 10 minutes instead of it. So, and then after that, we could discover the Super Speed Plus that was 10 gigs per second, and the Super Speed Plus that's up to 20 gigs per second. And nowadays, the most modern type of Type-C connection of the USB 3.0 connection, I apologize, it's called the USB 3.2 Gen 2 X2. So third version of the USB protocol, second generation, and then 2x2 means full duplex, going there and here, and we can obtain finally up to 40 gigs of full duplex data transfer up and down a single cable connection. Well, here we have a USB connector. And you may also notice that we have small gray letters up and down the connector. that have the familiar letters like TMDS and HPD and something like that. You may notice these letters and those names like TMDS in an HDMI cable. So we're capable now to get a full function of a multimedia interconnect cable like an HDMI connection or an DisplayPort connection using a single USB cable, and it will provide you with all the features you may ever need. So the great thing about the USB Type-C connector that it's very versatile, it's very sturdy, it's small, it's compact, and you have no orientation. You may remember some jokes about the USB connection. You only can plug in a USB only on the third attempt, or you should blow on a USB connector in order to connect it, or since you don't look at the USB connector, you cannot connect it, and something like that. But now, when we are talking about the USB Type-C connector, it all doesn't matter because you can connect it any side and any direction you'd like to. If we are using a passive cable, definitely. I will later talk a little bit about the active cables and particular problems that may occur when using them. Okay, and the main point is that it's convenient, it's high speed, and it's also omnidirectional. So you have no difference which side to connect to the computer and which side to connect to a smartphone, for example. Well, also, USB Type-C cables may provide you with those magnificent features like MHL, that means a support of HDMI signal to a display from the smartphone. Thunderbolt doesn't need any explanation. DisplayPort and DisplayPort Double Plus in an alternative mode, also HDMI and also super speed. All these functions you may get in one single USB Type-C cable. Well, the main point that should be talked about is the power delivery function. What is it? Well, it's kind of smart power management arranged via the USB Type-C interconnect. So when we have a USB Type-C connection and we charge our laptop via USB Type-C, and then we plug in a smartphone to our laptop, and it charges the smartphone using all the same connector. So you may notice that we charge one unit through this port, and it charges another unit also from this port. It's only one function of the power delivery. It's not all of the power delivery functions that I must notice, but you may see how smart and how useful it is. So it can finally give us the opportunity to use the USB Type-C connection in order not to get the data transfer function or multimedia function or control function or monitoring function, but it also provides us with high power. And nowadays we have high power speed chargers for the smartphones, for example 60 watts or 100 watts. The most powerful that we may get nowadays is up to 240 watts. Let me just remind you that when we were talking about the USB 2.0 connection, we could only obtain up to 5 volts of power and 0.5 amperes of current draw. So that's it. That's the great difference between the regular USB connection and also the USB Type-C connection. Let's go on. Yes, it's completely all-in-one solution because you have no hassle on your desktop. You have a tidy desktop. You have the connection made easier, and it's also quick, and it costs less. As soon as we use less cables, we just pay less money for that. Yes, the equipment, the Type-C equipment nowadays is rather expensive, but let me remind you also, when the HDMI cable was brought first to the public, it cost a huge amount of money also, but nowadays it costs almost compared to nothing. Well, we provide you with different kinds of cables. We provide you with active cables, with passive cables. Active cables divide into two categories. One of them is active, just simply active cables. Another one is optical active cables. They are made to solve different tasks. If you need just to extend your distance, it's okay to use an active cable, but if you need to extend your distance furthermore, going up to 10 or 20 or 30 meters, you should probably use the active optical cable. And you may already notice that in our marketing materials, we sometimes say this special word that is called the K-lock. And you may also pay some interest to it. What does it mean? What is it? If you look on the left side, on the left picture, you may notice that it's a regular, well-known Type-C connector. And on the right picture, you may notice that the connector itself is not only painted with another color, it's purple, and also it has three small latches, metal latches on one side and three more on the other side, and they ensure us the secure and firm and sturdy and strong connection. When you are using, for example, the Type-C cable in order to connect the display, the vertical type of connection, and when you are using a very heavy cable, for example, an optical cable, it can just pull the connector out of the display easily, and the K-lock can ensure you that it will never happen because it sits in the connector very, very, very firmly. It's our own technology. I don't know if anyone makes something like that, but it's very, very useful, and it doesn't lead to extensive wear of the connector itself. It just grabs it from the inside, and you can be sure that all of your connections will be secured and you will get your equipment working just fine. So the magic letters you should search for in order to get most of your cable or most from your Type-C equipment is the double F, FF. That means full featured. Not all of the cable vendors provide you with this information, but we do. And when you read our label, you can see that we have the CU32FF. C means for cable, U stands for USB 32 3.2, and full feature stands for full feature. You can get all of the maximum charging power and bidirectional data flow, and also the K-lock connector, and also you can get the maximum possible speed of the connection. Also, we have the active cables that use some of the current draw, some of the power from the connector itself, or from the panel, for example, from your laptop or something. And also, we have the optical cables that can cover almost any distance which you need. We have the cables up to 45 meters length. After that, I must say a couple of words about the retractor systems. For example, we have the KRT4. It's a cable retractor. I've already shown you this piece of equipment, and you should remember that the USB Type-C retractors we provide you, they have only 1 meter of cable. 1 meter of passive cable that is in accordance to the strict specifications of the USB Type-C connection. They are compatible with almost all of our modular T-bus cable box systems, and very easy to install, easy to use, and very reliable, very sturdy, very strong. And you can be sure that nothing will happen to it. It's very, very high quality equipment. Also, docking stations, and we'll have the encoders and decoders and signal extenders. I've already told you about the EXT3 series previously, the KIT 500, for example, and everything like that. I must say that it's all from my side. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. If you have which cable? Yeah, I see your question. Which cable is for 240 watts power? Nowadays, our cables are not certified to 240 watts power. I think we'll give a notification a little bit later. Nowadays, not so much cables of 240 watts power are produced. I'm pretty much sure that our cables that we have nowadays, then they can handle this power because they made something like more more precisely, and they can handle this overdraw of power, not 60 but up to 100 watts. It's okay. I think all the same cables will use the 240 watts of power, but nowadays not all of the charging devices provide this power. So this information was brought to the public by the USB organization, and we are waiting for the final specification of the powering devices, and I am pretty much sure that we'll have the 240 watts power cables for you as well. On KRT4, can we use this USB-C Gen 2 power multimedia data? Yes, pretty sure you can. You can use all of these and you can get up to 60 watts of power. It's recommended value. You may probably plug in a more powerful device and see finally if it does work, because the USB-C full-featured retractor system can provide you with all the attributes, all the functions of the latest USB-C type connector connection system should. So it's okay. Thank you as well. Let me say that it's all from my side. If you have any questions, you may ask us now in the chat or ask us later. I would like to thank my colleagues. For example, I'd like to thank Ben, who is the CEO of Modulit company, and Daria for arranging this great meeting. Let's take a little break, and we'll give a notification to you with some news, and probably see you soon as possible, and I'll prepare something interesting for you. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much. Bye.